Marvel fans, this one's crazy, man. We gotta talk about this. New set photo reveals for the Fantastic Four movie. Yeah, even more set photo reveals. Photos that seemingly reveal Frankie Raye, aka Nova, aka the female Silver Surfer that the scoopers and the trades talked about. And oh man, there's going to be a lot to talk about with regards to that one. But I also want to talk about like what's going on in this scene. I think a lot of people are missing it. This was actually in old plot leaks. It's crazy, and it has to do with Franklin Richards. This is seriously super hyped up. I'm super pumped that this movie is doing something this crazy. Let's get into it. Let's break it down. Let's go! Okay, so let's first begin with this set photograph of what appears to be Frankie Raye, the character of Nova from Marvel Comics. Now, this does appear to be Julia Garner, the actress maybe most known for her role in Ozark, because Julia Garner was revealed by the Hollywood trades to be playing a female Silver Surfer. This was a whole thing. If you will recall, there were a lot of scoopers that were saying that you were going to see a female version of the Silver Surfer in the Fantastic Four movie. And a lot of fans, including myself, got pretty upset about this. It's not that I care that there's a female Herald of Galactus. In fact, the exact thing that many people brought up in that moment was like, why not just do Frankie Raye? Why not just do Nova? Because Nova's kind of like a female version of the Silver Surfer. She becomes a Herald of Galactus. She has history with Norrin Radd. She has a legacy in the comic books that's already established. And this is one of those kind of like nuanced things. People are gonna just get mad and think that I just don't like Whammon. But really it just came down to the fact that I like Norrin Radd. If you're going to do Galactus and the Silver Surfer, I expect Norrin Radd. I want Norrin Radd, and Norrin Radd is awesome. And Marvel does that kind of stuff sometimes where they'll like gender bend characters or race bend characters or just change characters in really weird ways. And it's like, no, man, I'm sorry. I've been reading this character for a bajillion years in comics. When you're gonna put him in the MCU, friggin' Big G, like, dude, I want Norrin Radd. But having said that, I would have understood putting Frankie Raye in it, choosing to do Nova as one of the Heralds of Galactus. And in fact, there might be multiple Heralds of Galactus or something like that because they're doing something weird with Galactus in this movie. And we talked about this in other videos, but this is coming from Alex Perez and the Cosmic Circus. Apparently, Galactus does not come from this universe, the one in which the Fantastic Four movie actually takes place. So this Galactus is from a different reality. It would make sense for there to be a different Herald than Norrin Radd. And again, I like the Frankie Raye character, not as much as I like Norrin Radd, but way more than I like just a weird new MCU version of the Silver Surfer that's female, or like making Norrin Radd female or something like that. Anyway, the point here is that this is really cool, man. I'm super glad that it appears to be Frankie Raye as Nova and not a gender bend Silver Surfer. I know that might seem weird and petty and obviously super nerdy, but it is a concern of mine, and I'm relieved to see these set photos. Also, I'd be remiss if I didn't mention the fact this is another one that these scoopers all got wrong. Some people are speculating that they got this wrong on purpose just to cause an uproar, like they're playing this social media engagement game, and they knew by saying female Silver Surfer was going to trigger certain nerds like me, and then that would equate to social media interaction. I'm not sure what to believe on that. I could easily see them just getting this wrong. Remember that a lot of the sources from this information come from people that are very much normies, right? They're not like sweaty nerds like us. So they just see a female with Galactus that's made of metal, and they just say, it's a female Silver Surfer. And we're all like, actually, that's Frankie Raye Nova and not a Silver Surfer. So I'm going to give the scoopers the benefit of the doubt here. However, I am continuing to kind of just take a look at everything that's going on out there because a lot of these accounts have been getting a lot more wrong than usual. And I think Marvel's change behind the scenes to pivot towards Doctor Doom and to go with this new plan, a lot of that stuff, the scoopers just might not know about it because it's all new information. Okay, but enough yapping about that, right? The other thing I really think is important to talk about in this video is what is happening in this scene. Why is a Herald of Galactus on Earth at the Fantastic Tower, at the Baxter Building, trying to talk to the Fantastic Four. Well, you see, it's no coincidence that this sequence also happens in the same place where we talked about yesterday, them filming scenes with Vanessa Kirby holding a child. And there was a scene talked about in the old plot leaks that could perfectly explain what is happening here. The old plot leaks refer to a scene in which Galactus comes to Earth specifically to talk to the Richards about Franklin. And the way the scene was described was very similar to something that happens with the Silver Surfer in Jonathan Hickman's Secret Wars. And so if Galactus rolls up to Earth, he's going to send his herald ahead of him, and the herald would be the one to come down to Earth and to tell Reed Richards, hey, Galactus is here. You got to go talk to him. And I think that is what is happening in this scene. And I even have another layer to this, right? Because it's kind of weird that they would film Vanessa Kirby's scene here holding the child upside down, but it's in this same area. And I almost feel like Sue herself in the movie might understand what's going on with Galactus and just know that she needs to go up there and bring Franklin Richards. And maybe what we're going to see is her upside down within a bubble made from her shielding powers. And then she sort of floats up through space up to the upper atmosphere and has an interaction with Galactus. The thing to keep in mind about this sequence is that this is very likely Galactus coming to Earth, having his herald go down and address Reed Richards, all because of his son, Franklin Richards. And if you're any kind of Marvel Comics fan, you already know why this is important, but let me just kind of lay it out there because I think it's just so damn cool. Franklin Richards is one of the most powerful characters in Marvel Comics. Now, I know in the past couple of years, they've done some retconning and I think depowered him a bit and kind of changed him so he's not an Omega level mutant anymore, which I hate and I'm going to ignore as much as possible because the stories that I read with Franklin Richards were insane. Like, this guy is so freaking powerful. As a child, he's able to create pocket dimensions, separate whole universes, and he's able to save the essence of certain Marvel characters when they die in the main universe. Franklin has crazy outer-versal reality warping powers to the point that he is actually referred to as the reason that the Marvel Comics Cosmos universe does not actually age up their heroes. Like, if you think about it, Marvel's been around for like 85 years, right? But Tony Stark's still like 30. The young kids are still the young kids. It's almost like The Simpsons, right? Like, so much time passes, but the characters all remain relatively the same age. Well, Franklin Richards is the in-universe explanation as to why that keeps happening. And in addition to that, in the last version of the Cosmos, Franklin Richards, after Secret Wars, is important because he rebuilds the entire multiverse using his power and also the powers of the Beyonder with his father Reed Richards. But still, it's like Franklin Richards recreates the entire multiverse because that's what he can do. He can literally create universes. And there's actually precedence for Galactus being afraid of Franklin Richards from Marvel Comics. There's a whole series of events that centers around Franklin and his future version and mad celestials and them viewing him as like a big problem for reality. And there's even that famous part of the story where Franklin Richards resurrects Galactus and makes Galactus into the herald of him, Franklin Richards, not the other way around. He makes Galactus into his herald, resurrects him, and then has Galactus fight against the Mad Celestials. It's like, holy shit, dude. Oh my God. It's one of the nerdiest moments in comics. It is so good. And so what we're seeing in this scene with Frankie Raye Nova and with potentially Vanessa Kirby as Sue Storm and the baby and all of this stuff that they've been filming recently, this seems to all be centered around Franklin Richards, around Galactus and his heralds understanding what Franklin is and what he is capable of. And that's super juicy. The only thing that could be more juicy than that is what Robert Downey Jr. Dr. Doom is going to think of Franklin Richards and of Galactus. But we'll save that for another video. Let me know what you think about these set photos, about Frankie Raye Nova, the whole drama with the female Silver Surfer thing. And let me know what you think about this whole thing being about Franklin Richards. How excited are you to have Franklin Richards in the Marvel Cinematic Universe? Let me know in the comment section below. And as I always say, I hope you are having an awesome and a nerdy day, and I'll see you in the next video.